I'm pushing the show live. Okay, we are live. I'd like to welcome everybody to the show. We'll see who's first in the house. Okay, we're just getting all signed up, and I'd like to welcome everybody to the show. I'm just doing my final setups here, and it's about 7:25 a.m. here in Vancouver. Welcome to the show, everybody. I can see one AvGeek girl and Esther L. are number 1 and 2. I'm going to be doing my social media shares here. Glade Thomas, Sebastian. I am now live at Vancouver Harbour in downtown Vancouver for our float plane show. So I'm just doing my social media posts right now. In about 5 minutes they'll be starting engines here. 7:30 is when they can start flying and running engines here in the harbor, according to the noise bylaw. As I say, I'm just doing my social media posts right now. It'll take me just a few minutes to post on my various Facebook pages, etc. Oh, hang on, they're warming up a Twin Otter here. Let's see what's going on. It's a nice view, I have to say. Great way to start the show. Some beautiful Twin Otter action for us. Wow, amazing stuff. Really amazing stuff. Wonderful. Wow, beautiful. Absolutely stunning. time. It is coming up on 7:29, and we are starting our show here. Our first departure is Twin Otter.
Hello, Philip Ansett, Gerard Smith, Jim Jambirds, Noise Plump. Great to see everybody here. Magnificent. Right in front of us, all the action. Absolutely terrific. It's as noisy as it can get, one aviate girl, that's correct. Whoa. The smell of burnt kerosene. Hello, Jeff in Mass and Lee Bracewell. Nice to see you guys. Our first movement of the day is the 7:30 a.m. flight to Victoria. Harbour Air. Oh, the smell of burnt kerosene, it is wonderful. That's my reward, actually, for being here for you guys, is getting that lovely aroma, that sweet smell of perfume. PT6 perfume. It's absolutely lovely. Let's see, and as you can see, it's a very calm morning. The water is really calm. Give you guys a general view of what we're dealing with here. It's about 15 degrees, so nice and calm, nice and cool. It'll be a nice day today. Apparently we're going to go up to about 23. So, yeah, I like this kind of weather. Let's see where he points that nose and gets that spray going for us. There we go. You can see the change in the pitch of the props. And the spray is on. Great stuff. Great way to start the show, folks. Wow. It's up nicely. Very nice. You can see the gondola there in the background, the Grouse Mountain gondola on the side of the mountain. That was a very nice departure for our first movement of the show. You're watching the JetFlix channel here on YouTube. My name is Henry Tenby. It is August the 7th, 2025. We've got some heavy cloud cover up there on the mountains, as you can see. Okay. Do they still manufacture these aircraft? Yes, they do. Viking Aircraft on Vancouver Island still manufactures the de Havilland Twin Otter. They call it a, I guess they call it the Viking Twin Otter, and it's a Twin Otter 400. It's very nice. Goes very well, Lee. Thank you very much. Jeff and Masks asks if there's one or two pilots. There are two pilots on these airplanes. Look at that formation. They're doing a nice formation too. Canadian geese flying proudly. So here's a general view of harbor this morning. And let me just welcome everybody to the show. Okay, everybody, I'd like to welcome you all to the show. It's coming up on, what is it, about 7:32 this morning, so we've just had our first departure. We're at Vancouver Cole Harbour. My name is Henry Tenby. You are watching the YVR live show, but although we're not at YVR, we're here at the float base for the summer, but it is our Vancouver live show. And we're going to be here for the next 2 hours of peak float plane action, departures and arrivals from the harbor here. Nice morning. It's about 15 degrees Celsius. Typical. All the weather temps for today and the next few days are typical. The high is going to be around 23 degrees Celsius. No precipitation, thank goodness. We did have some precipitation over the last 24 hours, but it was very light, and we are nice and dry with none predicted. So that's great stuff. So, well, I'd like to welcome you all to the show. I hope you've had a very, very nice week, and let's have some float plane action. We've got some more passengers coming out here. See if I can zoom in on them. Beaver City. We see we've got 3 beavers here. Looking very nice. Hello, Evandro. So these passengers are heading over to this Turbo Otter, actually, right there. That's their ride this morning. They're probably, I'm going to say they're heading over to Nanaimo. That's my guess. Yeah, I think they're heading to Nanaimo, these lucky devils. Hello, Ian McDonald from Orlando, Florida, joining us. Yeah, it's going well, Lee. Thank you very much. I can't complain. It's just a nice morning to be out here. No pun intended, soaking up the action. I can see we have 44 of you in the house watching the show, so I'd like to thank each and every one of you 44 for being here. It's 7:37 a.m. here in Vancouver. Oh, we've got a round engine being warmed up. So Harbour Air is warming up their round engine. Yeah, I'd like to thank you guys for being here with me as we start the show. We're going to be here for the next 2 hours, soaking up the action. Hopefully we'll get some nice landings and takeoffs. And we've got the usual lineup here, which is the Harbour Summer Float base fleet, including caravans, Twin Otters, Beavers, and single-engine Otters. And we've also got a couple of other airlines that operate here. We've got Sea Air. They've got both piston and turbine Beaver aircraft, as well as their caravan. And we've got Gulf Island seaplanes as well with their beautiful Beavers. So we got some nice airplanes to keep us entertained, and usually the action here is pretty intense. So usually there's a movement every few minutes, so that's just kind of how it is, which is the way we like it, the way we like to roll with our float planes. And sometimes we can have even 3 or 4 movements at the same time.
Yes, they still do manufacture the Twin Otter 400. Viking Aircraft in Victoria still manufactures the Twin Otter Series 400 aircraft. The other aircraft are, well, except for the Cessna Caravan, of course, which is a current aircraft. Beavers and Otters have not been manufactured since the 1950s and 1960s. They ceased production of the Otter, which we're looking at right here, in 1968. Hello, Wookie Smoke. Flies the Beaver Simulator. So as you can see, they're warming up this round engine Beaver right there. Just getting those lubricants and oils warm so that the airplane is ready to rock and roll when they've got passengers ready to go wherever they might be going in the next, probably in the next hour or so. They'll probably have somebody that wants to go somewhere. We usually do get several of these Beaver movements throughout the course of our show. So those of you that are round engine fans, you will be able to get your supply of Beaver action for sure. Yes, Harrison Ford did own, or still does own, and fly single engine Otter. That's correct. I haven't seen him in the chat though. I haven't seen him in the chat yet. And nor have I been offered a flight on his aircraft. Yeah. But yeah, if he can show up in the chat, that would be awesome. And Lee, okay, you were at Duxford a couple weeks ago. Sounds nice. Wow, they had a Canadair Sabre. Yeah, you're lucky in the UK, right? You have every weekend during the summer, you've got an air show happening at some location. Well, we're actually starved here in Western Canada. We only have the Abbotsford Air Show and the Boundary Bay Air Show, and they're really, you know, a shadow of what you guys have on offer in the UK. This just is what it is, right? I mean, the Abbotsford Air Show is good for what it is, but it's just kind of the only game in town. But you know, in the UK, you guys have so many air shows. Every weekend, a different airfield will have an air show in the summer with fabulous aircraft, fabulous British-built types, and warbirds, military, Cold War military. You guys have it all in the UK. Lucky devils. Hello, Lady Di. Welcome to the show. Hope you're doing well, Lady Di. So we're just waiting for engines to turn. And I see we've got a Cessna Caravan flying abeam the field right now. Call it the field. The water, the harbor, I should say. I'll do a follow-in on it here. Let's just see if we can do that. Let's see if if we're up to muster on this. There it is. So it looks like it's a Sea Air Caravan. Flying, as I said, flying downwind. They'll make their turn here in just a second, I suspect. There they go. That a boy, that a boy. That a boy. He'll then point that nose right at us and do a beautiful landing, complete with loads of spray. And at least we don't have the sun shining right in our face here. That's wonderful. That is magnifico. Fantastic. So here comes Sea Air. They're going to nose it in at us. Cessna Caravan on floats. It's an amphib, I believe. Oh, doesn't that look easy? And he greases it down effortlessly. Reverse thrust, buckets. Beautiful. Well done, Sea Air. Sea Air's done a beautiful job on the landing. And let's bring the camera back to the base.
Beautiful turbo water right there. It's showtime. Nice stuff. Yeah, they're nice and aggressive angles when they land. They just nose it in, right? Nose to us. They're not afraid to point that nose. Not afraid. Lots of Canadian geese. Huge formations of Canadian geese flying in very tight V formations. Doing a very nice display here. I'll do them on their next pass. Somebody's crowing about. Somebody's crowing about. A crow has taken interest in our live stream. I hope he doesn't get aggressive with me. My goodness. Yes, rocking the... Alan's watching from Dumfries, Scotland, and yes, I'm rocking the Barbados cap. Love my Barbados cap. I love the colors of Barbados, actually, as well. And yes, but I love my cap. Haven't been to Barbados for a while. One of these days, we'll hopefully make it back. It's a nice, pleasing. Look at the contrast of the water there, the blues and the whites against the airplane. It's kind of interesting. We've got another aircraft on approach. See if this aircraft does a departure before the other aircraft is down, because the other airplane, I'll just kind of show you where it is. Yeah, it's right up there. So let's see if he does a... Yeah, he might be landing. We might get a landing out of this one first before the other guy noses into the wind for takeoff. Turbo Beaver, actually. Turbo Beaver maneuvering for landing. Oh, that's a neat view, isn't it? Darn it, the sun just came out. It's very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. I was hoping we were going to have cloud here, but that darn sun is out again. Attaboy. So we've got 1, 2, 3 airplanes here. Spray is on.
like a left step there to me. Lots of crowing about. Okay, so we've got another aircraft ready to rock and roll right here in front of us. And as I say, the sun's come out, so it's very challenging for me now at this moment because I'm looking right into the sun. I wish that did not happen. I was hoping and praying for overcast. Looks like a bit of a right step, but not much step action. Not much effort to get airborne there. Kind of lifts up gently. There's the sulfur piles in the background. And he's climbing nicely. Okay, so non-stop action. We've got another, we've got the Turbo Beaver going out already. That was fast. Very, very quick. I don't even have a chance to look at the chat here. I'm very sorry, folks. I can't take my eyes off the camera. It's just one of those situations where it's non-stop action. So I apologize for not being able to look at the chat. As soon as I'm able, I will. Oh yeah, my mistake. This aircraft just landed actually. Why he did a circle, I don't know. Well, there's a lot happening here actually. They're actually, as you can see, trying to get a couple of airplanes off the dock. So okay, well, we're just kind of waiting for things to happen here. Give me a second here. Wookie says, some of those float planes have wheels. Yes, that is correct. They're called amphibs. Absolutely correct. Can I see the helijet landing pad from here? No, unfortunately we can't. It's behind the other side of the Canada Place, so we're unable to see that from here. And we have Aviat North, I'm off to Comox in 5 minutes. I'm in 323. I'll wave at you. Oh, very nice. Thank you very much, Aviat North. That's wonderful. That is wonderful. Okay, so let me just get back to what we're doing here. Oh, here comes a whole flock of Canadian geese. Ooh, where are they? Darn it, I missed them. I'm very sorry about that. They're constantly doing fly pasts here. They're beating up the airfield very nicely. And just trying my best to put them in camera for us, because they're very impressive. Okay, showtime. Showtime. Maybe Aviat North is in here. We'll have a look here. Yeah, no, I can't see the helijet. That's a couple kilometers away and behind buildings, so I cannot see the heli base.
So I wonder if our friend Aviat will be able to wave off, if this is his airplane, if Aviat North is here in this aircraft. We'll see if Aviat North waves at us. Let's have a look. We're looking for Aviat North to see if we can get a wave out of him. Aviat's in there. Yeah, it's just black, unfortunately. We can't see through those windows. They're just like black. But I suspect Aviat's in there. Maybe Aviat's on this side. I don't see any hands waving, though, at us. Unfortunately. We'll see. We shall see. Do we have any hand wavers? Is that Aviat? Maybe, I don't know. Hard to say. Hard to say, but we're doing our best to see if Aviat North is in there. Hard to say. I'm waving at them. Oh well. We're going to wish Aviat North a nice flight. I don't know what flight number is what, so having a clue as to what flight number is what. It's one thing that's not something within my powers to know what flight numbers are what here. And their spray is on. Nice. Okay, I think we've got another movement happening right here before our very eyes. Our Canada flag Turbo Otter might be getting ready to start engines. Okay, so Aviat North is on aircraft 323. Okay. Aircraft 323. We'll see if maybe we've missed it, I don't know. Well, we shall see, we shall see. Hello, Nucking Awesome. The flight number for Harbour Air is under the pilots at the front of the airplane, so that's where we're going to look for the number. Hello, Cindy 34L. It's a nice day today here in Vancouver. Well, I guess they're going to start engines on this aircraft momentarily. Canada flag Turbo Otter. Yes. Yeah, a lot of birds around. Crows, right?
crowing about, making their presence known, which is very nice of them. Hello, David Underwood. Welcome to the show. And hello, Andrew Baird. Welcome to the show. That's excellent. I'm glad you finished work early so that you can check out the show, Andrew. And hello, Paula. Welcome to the show. It's a beautiful Vancouver Harbour day indeed. And hello, Robbie Batista. Welcome to the show as well. Okay, we have another aircraft starting engines right over here. 323. There we go. Let's see if that's our man. And Gulnur Ertugay is joining us from Istanbul. Hoş geldiniz to Gulnur. I hope Gulnur is having a great afternoon. We always love to hear from our Turkish spotters and Turkish friends. It's wonderful to see Gulnur. Wonderful. And Andrew, thank you very much for that wonderful donation of 5 memberships. I'll do the readout on that here in just a second. So that's our 323, and hopefully our 323 passenger, you can see them waving. That's the airplane that got it zoomed in nicely, but maybe they're seated on the other side, possibly. Aviat North. That's Aviat North's flight, 323. So we're wishing them a bon voyage. Is that are any of these people Aviat, I wonder? It's definitely 323. But nice to see Gulnur from Istanbul joining our show. That was wonderful. There he goes, the spray's on. Beautiful stuff. Aviat North is now on their way. Heading out of Vancouver in style. Beautiful. Bit of a left step, and off they go. Aviat North, have a good flight. Thank you very much for letting us know you were on board. And there's the aggressive climb, too. Wow. Nice stuff. And here's our next movement. So many movements, such a short period of time. Wow. So again, Andrew Baird, thank you so much, Andrew, for that wonderful donation of 5 JetFlix Premium memberships. It's very, very kind of you, Andrew. I'm going to do the readout here as soon as I've got a moment on... there's one of the helicopters buzzing out from behind. It's very hard to see, actually. Right there. Yeah. This is primarily a float plane show, so the helicopters are kind of removed from where we are, so... Okay, we've got a lander. We got a lander right here, up in the stratus. We'll do a follow-in on this guy. It's going downwind. I think they're not going to do any departures until this particular aircraft is safe on the ground. I've got that sunshine, unfortunately, and the camera struggles with the focus when we've got the extreme difference between dark and light background with sunshine into the camera. So let's just hope that this aircraft stays kind of away from the sun for us. It might. We might be in luck here. I think we are. Good. It's coming in below the sun belt. There's that a bit of aggressive nose down attitude. Bringing it close to the base, isn't he? Close to home. That was nice. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful. Beautiful landing. So, back to our departures. And I haven't forgotten about Andrew's donation and those people that... Look at how far these airplanes are going out. Holy camoly. Got another lander here. It's the Twin Otter, which I almost missed because I didn't see it. I almost missed it. Okay, from one action to another, right there, tail dragger. I told you we're gonna have non-stop action, and we have these long periods of time where I can't take my eye off the camera to look at the chat because it is non-stop action. Here comes our twin. Love the twin. And we've got double action, double toil and trouble. Turbo Beaver on the roll. What a muscle machine. Look how quickly that airplane gets off the ground. It's incredible. Off the water. Yeah, that's a hell of a muscle machine. The Beaver with the PT6 engine. Lots of power. Lots of power. Alan's joining us from Scotland. Okay, so again, thank you to Andrew Baird for donating those 5 JetFlix gift memberships, and I'd like to congratulate Esther L., Greg Huey Bears, Electric Blues, Cindy34 Left, Andrew Colvin, and Surly Dev for picking up those memberships. So congratulations to you guys. That's awesome. And Andrew Baird, congratulations for 16 months of premium membership. That's fantastic. Andrew says, happy retirement to my wife, Mary. She will be free to watch every YVR stream live now. Well, that's fantastic. Congratulations on that. That's incredible stuff. And we have a lander somewhere here. Oh, there it is. That's really nice news. I was able to look at the screen for just about 30 seconds. So we'll see if I can look back at my phone again here in just a second. Yeah, that's amazing that Andrew's wife just finished at 2 p.m. and she's now retired. That is wonderful, wonderful stuff. Incredible. Yeah, retirement. Absolutely incredible. Okay, let's just move the camera here so I can just have a look at the chat here for a little bit here, because I don't want to, I've missed a lot, and okay, so back, I just had literally not even 30 seconds to view the chat. I am sorry, but we've got action again. So I'm going to have to apologize if I'm missing your comments, because I have literally maybe 10 to 15 seconds to remove my eyes from the camera to look down at my phone to see the chat. So I'll move my eyes back to the chat as soon as I get a break from the action. I mean, it's fantastic because it's non-stop action. Beaver, Mr. Faxi is taxiing out. Looks like they're heading out empty, doing a pickup. As you all know, this airplane's a regular. It's been here in Vancouver for the last 40 years. Mr. Faxi. I've seen it in many different liveries and guises. At this particular moment in time, it's in Harbour Air's covers, this cover scheme. It's been in many different cover schemes over the last 45 years. There's the sun. I think he's going to warm the engines up. I'm not sure that this aircraft's going to fly, because he's just going around in circles at this particular point in time. But I think we have passengers heading out to Gulf Seaplanes. Looks like they're going to be boarding passengers here. So let's have a look. Hello, Bill Beimel. That doctor, and hoş geldiniz to Anil Baki Durmuş, another one of our Turkish viewers. Thank you so very much. And Captain B777 as well. Welcome to the house, joining us from CYHZ. I'm happy you're enjoying your time with us here at the float base. That's fantastic. And Bill Beimel said, I love Harbour Air. I flew them to and from Pender Island several times. But yeah, nice to see everybody. Anil, and yeah, it's fantastic. So again, I've got my eyes in the chat, which is great. John Bowden, props, pontoons, and water. We've got birds as well in the mix. We've got our feathered friends as well. and we've got Canadian geese doing formation flypasts, and I'll try to film the Canadian geese because they put on a heck of a air display as well. Don't want to leave them out. And we had somebody joining us from Scotland. I think it was Alan from Scotland. So always nice to have our Scottish friends as well in the house. Looks like the Beaver might be pushing the throttles to the firewall. Maybe. Yeah, I think we might be getting some round engine action. Maybe. Might be putting the pedal to the metal. Yeah, he's bouncing on the pedal. There he goes. Beautiful. Very different climb profile on the piston Beaver compared to the turbo Beaver. It's just quite remarkable how that turbo Beaver has such a short takeoff roll, whatever you want to call it, and compared to this piston aircraft is quite remarkable. Okay, I hear engine sputtering to life. Another Beaver for us right here. This is our friends at Gulf Island Seaplanes getting underway with their beautiful Beaver FOCN. That is another West Coast Beaver. FOCN, the Reggie. I've known that registration for at least 40 years as well. It's been a regular here on the BC coast. OCN. It's been under many different guises over the last 40 years. A lot of these registrations have been around for decades, actually. Love that sound. Everybody look what's going round. Oh, massive formation of Canadian geese here, guys. It's like an air show. I don't know if you can see it. It's something spectacular. It was unbelievable. Yeah, hard to see if I can, yeah, what a presentation. There must have been 60 of them in tight formation. Yeah, they didn't give me much warning though on the fly past. Well, they're still warming up, I guess. They always have to warm these Beavers up because the engines, if they've sat overnight, they've become cold soaked. So they just need to get the lubricants and the oil warmed up so that airplane or the engine can operate at optimal RPM. So they do have to do a little bit of circling around, just warming it up. So that's just what the deal is with radial engines, piston engines. That's how it works. You might pour the pedal to the metal right there. Let's see if he's going to bounce on the pedal. Not just yet. Not just yet. We're waiting patiently. And here comes in the background our Hulu. That's Hulu right there, coming in from Nanaimo in the upper left-hand corner of the frame. And it's the Hulu boat. Oh, he's bouncing on the pedal. Maybe. I think he's bouncing. Maybe. There's a little bit of power there on those throttles. throttle. Well, he can do it. He can do it. There. Pedal to the metal. Far away from us, though, isn't it? But he's up. He's up nicely. Nice, gentle climb. Sulfur piles. No relation to Gomer piles. Okay. Busy harbor, folks. Busy harbor. All kinds of stuff happening. As I say, here comes our Hulu. But I'm just going to point the camera not into the sun because it's causing me a lot of squinting. Causing me some serious squinting. Slow takeoff, one Avgeek girl. Yeah, exactly. Good morning, Mark Weber. Nice to see you, Mark. I'll try to get those, yeah, the shows for the birds. I'm trying to get the Canadian geese to appear on camera for us because they do these very impressive flypasts. Large formations of them, actually. Very large, impressive formations. Bouncing on the pedal is an expression to pour the... I'm going to bounce on the pedal means if I'm in the car, I'm going to put my foot on the accelerator, push the gas. That's what it means. Bouncing on the pedal means I'm going to be pushing on the gas to get this vehicle moving quickly. So that means I'm going to bounce on the pedal. That's an expression here in North America, anyhow. Pedal to the metal means the same thing. I'm going to push my foot onto the gas to get that engine to go faster. Same meaning. I hope that makes that a little clearer. Hello, Adil. Billy Bishop. Yes, Billy Bishop is a nice airport in downtown Toronto. Bouncing on the brake, yeah. Yeah, pedal to the metal, bounce on the pedal, all that stuff. Well, okay, so now I have a few minutes. I can look into the chat to see how you're doing. Okay, so have I missed saying hello to anybody? Let's have a look. Did I miss welcoming anybody to the show? I'm just scrolling up here. I want to make sure that I've got everybody that's taken the moment to come into our chat to be acknowledged. Mike Perdomo. Hello, Mike. Welcome to our show. Mike says, how's the morning going? It's going well. It's a beautiful morning. It's about 14 degrees Celsius here, so absolutely no complaints. The weather's been kind of warm, although yesterday we did have some moisture, but nothing serious. Where you're joining us, it's 103 degrees. Yikes. That's ferocious heat. That is like Las Vegas kind of temps. So you must be somewhere in the southern U.S., southern part of North America, I would say, Mike. But thanks for joining our show, Mike. I appreciate it. And David Underwood welcomes this show. Robbie Batista says, I am flying back home, Sydney. And we've got Andrew Colvin. Okay, so I think we're all caught up in the chat, which is good. We've got a tour boat here right in front of us, heading out. We're doing a harbor tour, or they're positioning it, I should say. My battery's at 36%, so I do now have to start watching the battery to do our battery change. It's a lovely morning. There's not much wind. The windsock is quite dead. So, isn't that a nice view? So nice. And the Hulu is coming in shortly from Nanaimo. It's a really nice morning here in Vancouver. I'm grateful for the weather. Andrew says, I'm not sure if this will be of interest, but I saw an Alaska Airlines was launching a new livery. Okay. I didn't know about that. They change their livery quite frequently, actually. More so than many other airlines. Korean, case in point. JAL, case in point. They're starting to fly 787s and flights to Europe. Well, that's aggressive. That's completely out of their bailiwick, so we'll have to see how that goes for them. I mean, 787s in Europe for Alaska Airlines? Wow. I would guess if WestJet can do it, why not Alaska Airlines? Because Alaska is a much bigger airline than WestJet. They've been around for a heck of a lot longer as well. So if they want to expand their market, why not? If they think there's a market out of Seattle and the west coast of the United States for them, over to Europe with wide bodies, why not? It's a free market. They can certainly give that a try, and definitely hope they'll be successful. But that's an interesting thing, Andrew. Thank you for pointing that out. And their new livery. Yeah, they basically modify their livery, it seems like, at least every decade, if not sooner. It'll be interesting to see what their new livery is. I hope they keep the smiling Eskimo on the tail. Of course, that's what I consider to be their most recognized aspect of their branding. Here we have the Sea Air Turbo Beaver taxing in. Hello, Mixter A350. Welcome to the show, Mixter. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining us this morning here in beautiful sunny Vancouver. The battery's at 33%, so I am watching it quite closely. So one AvGeek girl says the new color scheme looks very, very cool. Well, that's encouraging. I'm glad it's not an all-white color scheme. But so that sounds great. I'll have to have a look at it myself. And apparently, one AvGeek girl says, I checked their website. It's Seattle to Heathrow. Interesting. Seattle to Heathrow, because there's a lot of capacity between Vancouver and Seattle to Heathrow. You've got, of course, daily service on Air Canada. You've got twice daily service on British Airways during the summer. You've now got, well, I'm sure British Airways out of Seattle. I'm sure a number of the American airlines do Seattle Heathrow service. And now we add in Alaska Airlines. So that's okay. That's pretty good. I mean, that's excellent, actually. So, nice. Thanks for pointing that out, one AvGeek girl. Yeah. And Cindy34L says they're changing their color scheme due to their merger with Hawaiian Airlines. Well, that is a shame that they're getting rid of the Hawaiian Airlines branding. I love the Hawaiian Airlines branding, and I have flown them many times inter-island going back to the late 60s. And I'll be very sad to see the Hawaiian Airline branding go. Very sad, actually, because we lost Aloha Airlines when they went belly up about a decade ago. And now we're going to... So Hawaii won't have any major airline branding that's locally domiciled, sadly. Yeah, that is sad. Things change, right? Things change. So... Anyhow, we do have our Hulu that's arriving right here. It's backlit, right? So it's very difficult for me to film. But Hulu is arriving from Nanaimo. They're docking up right beside us. Their Vancouver to Nanaimo service. But yeah, we do have some very
bright sun there that I'm looking into. Yeah, LHR for Alaska Airlines. Good. Very nice. It's a beautiful morning here in Vancouver, here at Cole Harbour. As you can see, there's quite a Hulu. They're lined up down to my left there underneath the Dutch. I wonder if they stopped in for a pannenkoeken. So, we're a bouncer. What a beautiful morning. Beautiful morning here. As I say, it's just a lovely morning to be out here on the obs deck, soaking up the action. Yeah. And not too hot, not too hot. The temp's pretty reasonable here in Vancouver. Well, now that the sun is out, I'm going to call it probably about, it's even right now, I'm going to call it as 20 degrees temp. Temps build fast here as soon as that darn sun comes out. It's unbelievable. I am watching my battery. It's down to 26%. I'm watching it like a fiend because I don't want to have a battery collapse. Probably when it gets down to 20, we'll swap out the batteries. While we're waiting here, I'm watching for birds, beautiful birds. And here's one for those of you that are looking for the tourist stuff. This is our famous Stanley Park and the seawall. Oh, and it's back to showtime. Sea Air starting their engines on their Turbo Beaver, heading out very quickly. Not much of a wait here. So, yeah, one AvGeek girl says that we had rain yesterday and it was cooler. That's correct. We had our 1 day of rain, which is very much appreciated and needed to minimize the drought conditions that can prevail up the coast and in the forest regions where we don't want to have fires. So the rain is appreciated this time of year. Southern Oregon is 20 degrees Celsius right now. Supposed to be low 100s on Sunday and Monday. Oy. Oh, that's brutal. That is brutal. Thank goodness for air conditioning. Yeah, low hundreds is over the top. Top of the pops. Okay, so let's see where Sea Air points its nose into the wind to do their takeoff. Now watch how short the takeoff run is. Oh, look at it. Look at him porpoise his nose there. That was fun. That was fun. He's doing some nice hang 10. Yeah, there he goes. There he goes. Just like a what do they call those boards? People stand on those boards, sail boards. Bouncing on the waves. That was fun, right? That was quite fun. Now, where's he going to point his nose and do his takeoff for us? My camera, after this takeoff, we might do a battery change because the camera is at about 22% battery. So, you know, my batteries, they can be very temperamental, very finicky. They can decide to collapse themselves without much notice. There he goes. He's turning. And he's pouring the coal on. Pedal to the metal. There he goes. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that a short takeoff run? I mean, there's just a lot of power on that PT6 engine, and when you put it on such a small airplane like the Beaver, it just becomes a real muscle machine. It's like a car with a 450 cubic inch engine, right? It goes like a bat out of hell. Nice, beautiful. Another departure for us.
Another departure. Holy camole. I may have to put my umbrella up because it's getting quite difficult for me to. They're going far out that way. After we do the battery change, I'm going to put my umbrella up. Yeah, because it's very difficult for me to look and run the camera when it's pointed in this direction. So after this departure, we're going to do a battery change. I'm going to put the umbrella up as well. So that's our plan. So that'll be the sequence of events here once this aircraft has done the takeoff and is on its merry way. Good. It's pointing its nose right there. That's tough. That's tough to looking right into the sun here. Spray is on. Airspeed's alive. We're gonna look for a step. You guys call the step. Yeah, there wasn't much of a step there, was there? Both of those floats were symmetrically leaving the water at the same time. I think. I didn't see much of a defined left or right step. Yeah, let me change the battery because I suspect we're going to have a battery collapse very rapidly now. So let's do the battery change. We're going to do the battery change, folks. So I'll get the other battery ready. And give us a second here. We're going to do that right now. So, okay, battery change. So let's do this. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're doing a battery change now. I'll be back in about 10, 15 seconds. Thank you for your patience, everybody. We've done the battery change. Now I've got to put my umbrella up because it is blinding light here. Worse than it was 20 minutes ago. So, yeah, just bear with me, folks. It's quite bad, so I can't rush, but I will do this as quick as I reasonably can. So bear with me, everybody. Bear with me. Yeah, it's really bright. I was hoping and praying for cloud, but it did not last long, unfortunately. It just didn't. Getting the clamp onto the side of the camera. And now there we go. Better. Much better. Way better, actually. I don't have to deal with that horrible sun in my face. Okay. There we go. Maybe I'll just have to move it a little bit. Give me a second. Okay. Let me organize things here with the umbrella. I think we're okay now. I think we've got the umbrella set up okay. Okay, it's a little bit better now. Thank you, folks, for your patience. We'll get that umbrella up, get some sun protection in place. Wonderful. Much better. Much better. Oh, and I've got to level
Let's just level our camera and tripod. Went a little bit off kilter for us, just a tad. That's bad, not bad. Not too bad, not too shabby, guys. Yeah, so Cindy 34 left. Thank you very much, Cindy, for donating 1 JetFlix membership. And congratulations to Jess Parr for picking that up. And hello, Gary Suha, joining us from up north in the Queen Charlottes. Hope your weather's doing fine, Gary. So, okay, so here we are. I've got my umbrella up, and it's a lot better now. It makes a huge difference getting that umbrella up because I can now see without having to squint. When I have the sun shining into my eyes, I have to look through between the gap at the top of my glasses and my baseball cap. So it's kind of a bit of a difficulty. And when I'm trying to pan the airplane, it's just a challenge. But putting the umbrella up just makes a really, really big difference. So that's nice. You can see there's a lineup of people down here, and these folks are going on the Hulu, which is the non-stop, non-vehicle ferry that goes between downtown Vancouver from the harbor front, where I'm running our show today, to the harbor front in Nanaimo. So for people that don't have vehicles, it's a good way to get to the island. I think it's about $70 each way. That's the price of convenience. Just so you have the comparison, if you're a foot passenger on BC ferries each way, I believe it's $20. But you've got to invest the time and get transportation either from downtown Vancouver to over to the other side here. What's the name of it? There's a ferry terminal in West Vancouver, and there's also the Tawasin ferry terminal as well. So that's quite a distance for those of you taking transportation, and the convenience of just getting on this ferry right here in downtown Vancouver is quite significant. So they're really busy. So they've got a lot of, I guess, tourists that are taking advantage of the convenience of walking on and walking off to get to the island from downtown Vancouver. So that's a nice service. Behind me is the De Dutch Pancake House, one of my favorite Dutch pancake houses here in Vancouver. Hope you're all doing well. You are watching the JetFlix channel here on YouTube. My name is Henry Tenby, and this is what is normally our YVR live show, but we're not at YVR for the summer. We're actually here at the harbor, downtown Vancouver Cole Harbor, to do a float plane show, just because it's different, and why not? It's something we can do for the summer that's a little bit different than what we do all year round from the YVR, from the land airport. So hope everybody's doing well, and what can I tell you? It's pretty quiet, actually. Other than the people that are here for the going on the Hulu, there's not too many people around. We have one cruise ship at Canada Place. I can try to show that to you. Do my best. Let's have a look. Andrew Baird says, I'm hoping we can get to Vancouver next year. Be sure to visit the harbor. It looks gorgeous. Yes, it is. It's a beautiful place, actually. The harbor is wonderful. You could spend a whole day just relax here. Really? Hello, Truth Provider. Welcome to the show. And Gary Sua reports that the weather up in the Queen Charlottes is soggy. They've been under full saturation mode. Yucky, with lots of rain up in the Queen Charlotte Islands. So, yeah. So, I was showing you guys Stanley Park and the famous seawall. Sometimes you can see people. Yeah, there we go. There's somebody jogging there. That's our famous seawall. Also a good place to plane spot. And we'll see how the traffic is on the Lionsgate. There's not much traffic, actually. That's the famous Lionsgate Bridge. It's modeled after the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. connects San Francisco to Sausalito. So yeah, this is a miniature version of the Golden Gate Bridge, and yeah, usually it can be chock-a-block with traffic, but it's not this morning, so that's really interesting. Mind you, it is 8:45, so maybe an hour ago it would have been busier, I'm guessing. And seawall, lots of people out walking on the seawall. And our famous sulfur piles and piles, being exported to markets in Asia. They bring that sulfur here, I guess, by rail car from wherever it's mined. It points east of Vancouver Harbour, and then it goes by container bulk ship. That you can see, there's one right there. They load it into the holds of the bulk ship, and they take it to places in Asia for final consumption. So now let's see if I can show you guys the sun's gone in a little bit, so I might be able to point the camera over to, yes, to show you guys the cruise ships. Silver Sea, Silver Moon, yeah, so that's the Silver Sea Cruises, very high-end cruise ship. That's at Canada Place right there. There's room for, of course, another cruise ship right in front of it there. That's Canada Place. And here is, as I was saying, there's not many people here, right? So all beautiful observation deck area for people to soak up the action. So I'm just showing you what it's like here. People walking along the ledges here. There's a loading plank for cruise ships. Joggers out for a walk and jog. It's a great place to really hang out and chill. Okay, float plane arrived as I was giving you a bit of a tour. Sorry about that, I completely missed it. My bad. I won't let that happen again. We'll have to wrap my knuckles. Remember last week we had a fellow by the name of Jacques. And Gary Suha, thank you so much, Gary, for the very generous donation of 5 JetFlix memberships. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate that very much. And I would like to congratulate our lucky recipients of those memberships. That's Captain B777 and James Sirikit, Tenured Amoeba, Lunky 32, and Dandy Chicken. So thank you so much, Gary. That was a very kind donation, and congratulations to those people that picked them up. That was very, very nice and awesome stuff. And welcome to the show, The Galley. Galley says Airport South has a float base at YVR. Indeed, they certainly do. They certainly do. Arrival. You can't be sleepy at the job if you have the job that these two people have here. You've really got to be focused. You don't want to be banging your head or walking into a prop or ending up in the drink. So again, oh my goodness. Okay, Esther L. Thank you very much, Esther L. Esther L. have generously donated a JetFlix membership. And congratulations to Mixter A350 for picking up that donation from Esther. So thank you, Esther. And thank you, Gary Suha, for both of you supporting the show with those very kind donations. It's very much appreciated. And the galley, it's nice that you're here. Definitely appreciate your hanging out and relaxing with us this fine morning here at Vancouver Coal Harbour. Awesome. Glad you are all enjoying the show. So we're just going to wait for these passengers to safely deplane from their flight. They're just maneuvering that little gangplank into position. Again, these guys have to, they can't be sleeping on the job. Everything has to be done perfectly the first time. There's no margin of error in the work that these guys do, because people can be injured if somebody doesn't do something properly. It's all about safety here. Again, one little slip of the ankle and you're going for a swim. That's right, One Av Geek Girl. It's a great reminder. If you guys can hit that like button, it's always really appreciated. Thank you so much. And we have 142 people in the house with us. Definitely appreciate all of you, each and every one of you, for being here with us, relaxing with your feet up, enjoying the show. And you know what? If you're a lounge lurker and you haven't stopped by to say hello, please do. Just say hello in the chat. My goal is to acknowledge everybody that says hello. I really don't like to miss people that are here with us. So I do my... Oh, Darren Smith. Yeah, Darren Smith. Great to see you. I don't like to miss anybody. So if you haven't said hello, just say hello. Enjoying the show, or greetings from Timbuktu, or wherever you happen to watching our show from. That would be nice. So it's always nice to hear. Don't be scared if you're here and you're enjoying the show. Feel free to say hello. It's always nice to see who's watching. So let me ask, maybe where everybody's watching right now, maybe you could just type in where you're watching from. Why don't we do that? Let's get a geographic roundup. Where are you watching our show from? Just type in the city name or town that you're watching from, and I'll read that out. It'll be interesting to see what geographic representation our viewer base is joining us from. So yeah, let's see where you guys are from. Where are you watching our show from? And I'll read that out in just a second here once we've got this turbo Otter safely down. There's making the turn downwind. Yeah, the umbrella does help me. Yeah, where are you guys watching the show from? If you can just type in where you're watching from, I will read it out. I'll do a readout so we can see where our eyeballs are originating from. I like the way that he really bites down towards the runway there, the waterway I should say, the soft surface. Our beautiful Twin Otter. So I'm going to do a readout here. Again, if you're watching our show, just tell us where you're watching from, and I'll do a readout, because it's always interesting to know where people are tuning in from and what the geographic reach of our show is. So yeah, just type in where you're watching from. This is our beautiful Canada flag liveried Harbour Air Twin Otter. One of my favorite color schemes on a Twin Otter, actually. It's so nice. Where are you watching our show from? I'm going to do a readout when I get a break here. I'm going to do a readout of where you're all watching from. Because it will be interesting to see where you are all joining us from. Well, that's nice. Nice splash. He's gonna, there he goes, the spray is on. That's nice, that's nice. That's beautiful. Look at that. Look at that. Sweet. That was lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. Again, where are you watching the show from? Put it in the chat. Just respond in the chat where you're watching from. Definitely look forward to hearing that. And I'll do a readout here in just a sec. Where you're watching from. We have another lander. We've got another lander, but I want to see where you guys are watching from. So, let's see. Hello, Esbu. Welcome to the show. So we've got Noise Bloom is watching from Simi Valley, California. And Chris Howard is watching from Rainham, Essex, UK. And Mooney WP is joining us from beautiful Victoria, BC, just on the other side of the water. And Donna Davey, born and raised Vancouverite, fellow Vancouverite, excellent. And we've got Chrissy B, who's watching from Manchester. Wonderful. Hope your weather in Manchester is okay. I think last time I looked, you guys had some water, some rain. Okay, so here's our next lander. It's nice, very nice. That was really nice. Okay, so where were we? Just give me 1 second. Okay, let me just go back to all the our responses here. Where was I? We've got Marnie. Good morning from beautiful Vancouver. Thank you for joining us, Marnie. And yeah, we've got the Peacock Strikes Back joining us from Scotland, and Esbabu from Surrey. Excellent. Quite a few local Vancouverites. And we have B-Rich33, Toronto. And Gary
Pace Mills is near Flanders, Belgium. We have Eugene Kiselev from Krasnoyarsk, Russia. Wonderful. Wow, Krasnoyarsk. Incredible. Warped Opinion is joining us from Richmond, who's watching us from the office. Matt Smith from Manchester, and Neil Molly from Liverpool. Lottie 1 from Cheshire, and Boof from Macclesfield, UK. Esther is joining us from Toronto. TMF is from Brian. TMF Brian is joining us from Richmond, Virginia. And Alan Edge is joining us from home of the Grand National, Aintree, Liverpool. DH is joining us from Los Angeles. Terrific. Philip Ansett is from Minster. Sorry about that. Missed the Twin Otter landing. I'm very sorry. And PB477 is joining us from Stuttgart. Gary Devine is joining us from Prince George. Wow. And Murilo Neves is from Salvador, Brazil. I've been there, of course. Lovely place. I love Salvador. It's on the beautiful coast of Brazil. Lady Di's joining us from Cape Town, South Africa. One Av Geek Girl is from the Dunbar area of Vancouver, and the Galley is English Bay, right here in Vancouver. And Cindy, 34 left, is joining us from Roseburg, Oregon. I've been to Roseburg. In the early 70s, we used to drive down to California with my parents, and we would stop either in Roseburg, Grants Pass, for the first evening after we'd leave Vancouver. We'd either overnight in Grants Pass or Roseburg. So yes, I've been to Roseburg. David Underwood's joining us from Portsmouth. And Mixed Ray 350 is Bolton, UK. Wow. What a great range of places that we have our viewers from. That is really remarkable. It's quite diverse. From Brazil, South Africa, Europe, UK, of course, across Canada and the United States. But yes, Salvador, of course, Istanbul. Salvador. Where else was I up? Yeah, Salvador is near Recife. San Luis. These are places up there in Natal, the Natal region of Brazil. Very, very beautiful area, actually. And who else? Let's see else. What else have we got here? Gary's originally from Toronto. Matt Smith says, question, are you... what are the flying limitations when the weather isn't great here? I guess, yeah, I'm not sure. There's obviously a ceiling limitation, and I don't know what that is. If we have, it's just out of my knowledge, but perhaps we have one of our resident float plane pilots watching, and he or she might be able to comment on what the limitation is for inclement weather for float ops here in the harbor. That's great. And yeah, Murilo Neves says, yes, near Recife. I've been to Recife. I've been there. I've swam in the water, and I've done plane spotting at Recife Airport. Welcome back, Paula. Paula lost the connection, but she's back. Yeah, Recife, they had a beautiful open-air observation deck that I really loved. And I remember seeing there was a Lon Chile 707 when I was last at Recife, which would have been in the summer of '88. It's been a while. But this is great stuff. Fantastic.
My pleasure, S. Babu. Always. I want to get everybody. I don't want to miss anybody. So, you know, that was nice to find out where you're all watching from. But I am pleased and impressed that we have such a diverse international representation of people enjoying the float planes with us here. That's wonderful. Really, really cool and neat. If you haven't yet commented where you're watching from, it's not too late. You can still let us know, and I'll definitely. We have Resh, who's watching us from Colombo, Sri Lanka. Fantastic. That is wonderful. A mini island just below neighboring India. Yes, we definitely know Sri Lanka, Resh. It's nice to see you here, Resh. Thank you so much for telling us that you're watching from beautiful Sri Lanka. That's wonderful. And Darren Smith is joining us from Oslo, Norway. Wow. Yeah, it's fantastic. Just fantastic. And let's have a look. One AvGeek girl did a research for us here on the minima for float planes. I'm gonna read it out here in just a second. Thank you, One AvGeek girl, for checking up the float plane minima. Oh, there we go. Here comes the chop. Here comes the chop. Nice. Nice launch. Very nice launch. And there's the climb. Turn over the sulfur piles coming up. There's the sulfur pile right below. Okay, and we have Wookie Smoke joining us from Gresham, Oregon. Terrific. And S. Babu says, I'm from Kapurthala, Punjab in India, but I'm in Surrey, BC in Canada. Wonderful. Wonderful. Paul is joining us from the UK. Should be in Vancouver, but joining us from the UK. And yes, Resh, it's a great pleasure to have you here. And One AvGeek girl says that operating as a daytime visual flight rule airline, it's subject to the weather limitations. They won't fly if the visibility is less than 3.25 kilometers and 100 meters. So they need 300 feet, 100 meter forward visibility, I guess. Or no, that's the height, sorry. 100 meters, 300 feet is the ceiling. So they need 3.25 forward visibility, and they need a ceiling of 100 meters, which is 300 feet, which is quite low, actually. Quite low. That's nice. See, a little bit of a different direction than the last one. Because there is no runway set on a map or on a chart saying that you must go. It depends on the weather, it depends on the wind direction, and it depends on the completely the discretion of the pilot. Where is there the least amount of boat traffic or bird traffic? All of these are factors in determining where the pilot points the nose of the airplane for the takeoff on the water out of the harbor here.
heard a float plane. Where did I lose it? Nope, there we go. I lost it temporarily, but I'm back. I'm back. I'm following him out a bit. There's clouds on the side of the mountain, as you can see. So let me have a look at the chat. I can now have a look at the chat. Let's have a look at the chat. Where are we on our chat? That's funny. Walter Vidano says, I'm in Nairobi, Kenya, but it seems like I'm in Vancouver. Well, that's the beauty of streaming in the internet, Walter. But nice to have you joining from Nairobi. Is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So that's interesting. We have people from all over the world. I think, well, we don't have too many people from Asia right now because I think they're sleeping. So from there, they're not yet up. That's the middle of the night in Asia. So, but you never know. Matt Smith, do I have any trips planned? Not at the moment, but I will say I won't be traveling during the month of August, right? I stay put here in Vancouver, but once September hits, yes, actually I do have trips planned. It's a very, very busy period for me from September to December. It's just how it is. That's just how my life is. Usually in September, I travel to visit one AvGeek girl's family. In Turkey, that's usually in mid-September, somewhere in that region, but it's always play it by ear. All my trips are play it by ear, right? It's my wish. Doesn't mean it happens, it's just my wish. I also wish to attend, perhaps, there is a airline slide convention in Paris in early October. So whether I head over there for a few days or not, I don't know. I hope I can. That is my plan, to try to do it. Nothing's ever for certain until I have my boarding pass when I'm boarding the aircraft at the gate. What else is a possibility? In early November every year is the Frankfurt Aviation Slide Convention. That I'm usually out of town for a week, and I wish I will plan to attend that. So look at that. Canadian, no, those are loons actually. Those are loons, not Canadian geese. So yeah, there's the Frankfurt Aviation Slide Convention, first weekend of November. Okay. Then we have usually from mid-November to early December is one AvGeek Girls annual vacation. So we will try to go somewhere for that. Again, where, exact dates, I don't know. But what I can tell you is the period from early September through mid-December is a very, very busy and intense travel period for me. Some trips may happen, some may not. Dates are flexible. Where I'm going, I can't tell you on some of them, but that is a time when I do a lot of travel. So the Paris Aviation Convention they have it every year. This year, there's a fellow that I know that's big into slides, and he's organizing a slide event, and he's asked me to attend. Who knows? We have to see. That would be, as I say, a last-minute thing. Can I easily get myself over there for that weekend? But who knows? It's really, really tentative. You just never know. You just never know with this. Paris is always a good idea if you can get there, right?
if you can get there. Yeah, you guys can Google it. They have a website for the Paris Aviation Collectible Fair. I know it's in early October, and they're doing a slide event as well, and I've been asked to make a best effort to attend by several people actually. So we'll just make my best effort. You never know. Matt Smith says it's an expensive city, but if you want to see expensive, don't get me started, guys. Yeah, Vancouver. I think Vancouver would top Paris. It certainly tops many other places. So, yeah, so there you go. That was my long-winded answer to your question, Matt. Any trips planned? Yeah, so it was a bit long-winded, but c'est la vie. Yeah, I agree with one Avgate girl. Europe is quite affordable compared to Vancouver. Certainly Germany, right? Germany is very affordable compared to Vancouver. Your food cost is 50% cheaper. You walk into a grocery store, I'm sorry, when it comes to dairy, it's 75% cheaper. Yeah, 75% cheaper than Canada on the for dairy stuff. But your canned food, packaged food, that fruits and vegetables, poultry, meat, all of that is 50% cheaper in Germany compared to Canada. That is the truth. The UK is also, I'm going to say, almost 50% cheaper across the board than Canada. I'll give you an example. In the UK, you can walk into any Tesco or M&S and pick up a sandwich, snack, drink, and a pack of chips or a chocolate bar for about £3.50. Okay? In Canada, just for the sandwich, without the drink, without the crisps, without the chocolate bar, you'll pay $10 for the sandwich. So none of our fast food places like 7-Eleven or Easy Mart or Quick Stop they're so tight-fisted they won't give you that kind of a deal. You want to go and buy a sandwich, $10. Oh, plus tax. And when they hand you the terminal to pay for it, they're going to ask for a tip as well. So that's the difference between Canada and Germany and the UK. The UK's, get a sandwich and a drink and a pack of crisps and a chocolate bar for £3.50. The price would be 100% more expensive here in Canada, across the board. Yeah, very tight-fisted here when it comes to that kind of stuff. Very tight-fisted. The businesses are extremely tight. Our turbo beavers back in the house. Oh, look at the little wing wobble there. That was nice. Nicely done, Sea Air. That was very nice. Beautiful. Beautiful landing. He's going to nose it into us. I mean, a chocolate bar here in Canada is going to cost you about $2.50 now. That's just a chocolate bar. Oh, and the other thing in England, when you get that deal at Tesco or MS, the sandwich and the drink, you can have sparkling water as your drink. Well, the sparkling water here in Canada will cost you $3. Turbo Beaver, there you go, Turbo Beaver. Double, double. Hello, Smurfy. 999 Smurfy's in the house. Welcome, Smurfy. And Roberto Godfrey. Hello, Roberto. Look at this, guys. Look at all that. Looky. We've got two turbo otters coming out. Who's first? Who's on first? Who's on first? Let's see who's on first. This guy's on first right there. Is he going to turn around or is he going to bounce on the pedal? Well, he seems to be trundling. There he goes. There he goes. Spray is on. And the other one's going to be not far behind it as well. I got one eye on one airplane and one eye on the other airplane. There he goes. Let's get back to terra firma here, or water firma. There we go. Here comes number 2. Nice too. Well done. Very nicely done. Very cool. Wow. Okay. Back to the dock. Back to the dock. And these passengers are coming out of their Sea Air. These are the Sea Air passengers coming back. Actually trundling back to the base. And we've got 2 caravans. Look at that. 2 double caravans. It's nice. One Harbour Air. Well, they're both Harbour Air, but they're in different color schemes. The one on the left is in the traditional Harbour Air colors. The one on the right, I guess, is in the color scheme of its previous operator. Yeah, Donna Davis says we're gouged to death here. That's true. Donna, isn't that unbelievable? People don't realize it. They think, oh, I mean, it is a beautiful place, Vancouver, but we suffer from lack of competition and a good number of market segments. That is absolutely true. Absolutely true. Well, we're waiting for movements. Somebody's out having a nice paddle. Good for them. Oh, that's a good way to do some plane spotting, I'll say. Yeah, we should call this the Otis Redding Show.
It's the YVR Otis Redding plane spot. We dedicate it to Otis, the late great Otis Redding. It's amazing, you know, he had that one hit and then he died. I mean, he died very young, but he left an amazing song for the world. Okay, the sun packed it in. We've got Alex Silva joining us from South America. Where did those girls go? Boy, they're gone wherever they. What's happening on the dock? Well, I'll show you there's our famous sea bus heading from North Vancouver over to Vancouver. Backlit though, because of the light. That's part of BC Transit. Just need a bus pass to get on that for $3 or $4, and you can go across to the other side. Wind just picked up, folks, so I'm gonna have to take my umbrella down, and I've just got a Mary Poppins going on here right now, so just give us a second. Yeah, the wind has picked up, something fierce. Kevin Chaban. Thank you, Kevin. I'm glad you're watching our show. Kevin says, I've been watching you on my big screen here in Kamloops. I love watching when you're live. Thanks. And Matt says, thought you would give us at least a short rendition. Yeah. Well, I did try to condense it down, but yeah, you know me too well, Matt. You knew that was, yes, I would give you the short version. Exactly. Exactly. Well, I'm just waiting for a movement or two here. We should have another movement at some point. I'm just watching the horizon like a fiend, actually. Donna Davey says, we are so lucky here. We have minimal wildfire smoke. That is correct. Donna is so right. We've been very lucky and we're very grateful. We haven't had this year a lot of wildfire smoke. And we haven't had a lot of rain this summer. It's been a pretty good summer. We have to be extremely grateful. I'm grateful, and I know Donna is. So, yes, there we go. Twin Otter on the move. Twin Otter on the move. Busting a move. This will be a nice takeoff with spray. Look, we've been streaming for 2 hours, folks, so this is pretty much the end of our show. I do want to thank everybody for being here, relaxing and chilling and soaking up the float action with us. I've enjoyed it immensely, as I always do, and I hope you guys have as well. And I want to thank everybody from the four corners of the world for being here with us today. It's been good fun. We've had a lot of fun splashing about here in Vancouver Harbour. We even got to see some feathered friends. And look at this, we've got a Twin Otter departing. Let's see where he points his nose into the wind.
that. Wow. Wow. Stupendous. That is lovely. What an awesome takeoff. Side profile on the departure. Look at that climb. Look at the climb. Beautiful. Yeah, the Twin Otter's a real excellent looking airplane. Handsome aircraft. Has a lot of get up and go. Two PT6 engines. It's a West Coast staple. Off to Victoria Harbour. Yeah, look at that. Quick turnaround. And it's nosed around and heading over to the island. Very impressive climb out on the Twin Otter, I have to say. Very, very impressive. Okay. Thanks for being here. I mean, this has been fantastic. Yeah, Alex, that's correct. Only pretty much this is a summer operation, being out here at the float base. Other times of year, I'm at the South Terminal. So that's how it goes. So yeah, I've enjoyed it a lot. It's been a good fun show. I'll just hang on a second here. I'm just trying to figure out how best to thank you all. Maybe like this, something like this. Let's just do this. Okay. Well, guys and gals, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a very fun show. I've enjoyed it immensely. It's now 9:30. Our show comes to an end. We've been here for 2 hours, and we've hit the peak traffic period out here at the harbor. I look forward to seeing everybody here that can attend next week. This same location will be going live at 7:30 a.m. That's the plan. That's the plan. I want to thank our moderators for being here and helping out. And I want to thank those of you that made donations. That was very kind and generous of you to make those donations. Thank you so much. And I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank those of you that indicated where you are watching from and joining in the chat. That was awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great week ahead, and we'll look forward to seeing everybody right here next week. Bye-bye. All the best, everybody.